So finally, after 3 consecutive wins, the Bangladesh team loses their first match in this ICC Women's Qualifier. On the other hand, the hosts, Pakistan, have won 4 matches on the trot and ensured qualification in the upcoming ICC Women's World Cup in India later this year. It all boils down to the last match day of this ICC Women's Qualifier, where it will determine the second team will clinch the spot for the ICC Women's World Cup. To talk about it all, we have former Pakistan cricketer and currently a commentator who's experiencing everything firsthand and watching the game unfold in front of our own eyes. And not only that, at the same time, lucky to call the game. We've got none other than Marina Iqbal with us on the mic with SamannoyGhosh. Assalamu alaikum. Marina, I hope you're well.
Walaikum salam. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for asking. Very kind of you. Hope everything around you is fine and you're enjoying the cricket.
Oh, yes, the cricket definitely. The weather, not so much. It's quite hot and humid, but again, it's part of the game.
Yes, it is. It is part and parcel of that. And I'm
Yeah.
sure the icing on the cake for you would be that Pakistan have ensured a spot in the upcoming Women's World Cup. So congratulations to you and the Pakistan
Thank you so
team.
much. Yes, obviously, it's a big thing. We were really looking forward to it, especially that how past 6 or 7 months have gone. There was a little bit of, not little bit, but there was certainly instability in terms of the management, how things have gone. So yeah, it's a big thing right now for women cricket going forward.
It is. It is. Now, the overall tournament, we'll start with that, right? All the teams performing and it boils down to the last day, as I was mentioning in the intro. It could still go either way. Ideally, as a Bangladesh fan, I would not prefer it because we're not the team who's ensured qualification as of yet. But
Yeah.
it bodes well for women's cricket and the qualifier tournament.
I think the whole tournament actually has been tremendous in terms of quality of cricket. I think I wasn't expecting that it would be the quality of cricket would be so much higher. I think there hasn't any game that went single-sided. So I think each and every team came there, they made an impact, and they actually challenged every opposition. So overall, when you look at this, it's great signs moving forward for women cricket globally. But yes, Bangladesh, Pakistan, it was slightly expected that these two teams will probably qualify, and well, they're facing each other tomorrow. So let's see.
Yeah, in fact, so what I did was before this episode, I had an episode with Isabel Joyce, who's also a former cricketer, the Ireland team. I did one episode with Lenny, and I asked them
Hmm.
both, who are your top 2 picks to qualify, and they both mentioned Bangladesh and Pakistan. I've
Yeah.
talked to a few other people as well. They all picked Bangladesh and Pakistan. Would you say before, earlier than this stage, you picked Pakistan and Bangladesh both, even though Bangladesh haven't ensured yet? But what were your picks, to be honest?
Yeah, definitely. It was Pakistan, Bangladesh. Pakistan against. I think when you look at West Indies, there's a big hole in terms of how their batting is unfolding. There's no one really standing up apart from Haley Matthews. So in a longer format, there's always a concern for a team. So when we looked at how things were unfolding, Pakistan, Bangladesh, definitely Bangladesh. I'm really impressed how they have improved. I'm a really good friend with Nigar Jyoti as well, so we keep on discussing things. And she did mention in the previous interviews as well that how they have worked on their batting. That was a concerning part for them, not just individually but also as a team. And I mean, I want to find out that template, the secret that they've done, because when you look at them as a whole team batting from opener to 11, you can see the intent, not just the intent. I think how we always talk about the intent, but I believe that you need to have skills to back your intent as well, and that's the big part that we leave out of the conversation. So I think they've worked on their skills, they've worked on their mindset, they've worked on their fitness, and they've got a really bright future ahead. So I'm just loving what I'm seeing from Bangladesh side.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Thank you for the kind words. let me try and put you on the spot now. You mentioned
Yeah.
West Indies. Only
Yeah.
Bangladesh for the second spot after Pakistan for you, or you didn't think about Ireland or Scotland? I'm sure Scotland surprised you, but what about Ireland or West Indies?
Look, had it been T20, I think I was in a spot of bother because you can't say anything when it's T20. But yes, looking at the 50 over format, Ireland struggled with injuries. Two main players are not there, Amy Maguire and also Freya Sargent. That obviously puts a little bit of brakes on Ireland. They were depending a lot on Orla Prendergast and also Gabby Lewis. Amy Hunter, a superb prospect. Just 19 years of age, and I'm amazed to see her bat out
Mhm.
in the middle. But yeah, given the fact that they were to play a longer format, they did struggle in terms of resources going forward, not just in terms of batting, but also in bowling. No, no threat whatsoever in terms of spin, because given the conditions here in Pakistan, that's one aspect that every team has strengthened coming here. So these were
Mhm.
the things that actually I wouldn't say allowed me, but I was like, I ticked when I was looking at the teams that, okay, these are the areas where Ireland is struggling, so maybe they won't be able to make it.
Mm, okay, okay, and I'm sure it's visible, it's evident that West Indies is missing the services of Deandra Naughton as well.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. A huge gap. And not just that, but also the available players in terms of, I think, Shameen Campbell, yeah, she scored few runs every now and then. Stefani Taylor didn't had a really good tournament. Coming back from injury, obviously, that plays with your mind, that plays with your form. And also, given the hot conditions, it's not easy to back yourself. But again, if you take Haley Matthews out of the equation, the rest of the West Indies team, it's not even threatening at all. So it's just ifs and buts. If one can perform, one can support Haley. I think
Mhm.
her dropping down yesterday was also very crucial because that really extended the batting order, but nothing from up top. Zaida James, you expect her, but Kiana Joseph for a short, again for a longer format, there was a lot of questions. So a lot of weaknesses when you look at them as a team whole together.
Yeah, and you actually took words from my mouth, Marina, because I was about to refer to yesterday's match where Bangladesh faced off against the West Indies, and Haley Matthews, for a change, came in at number 4.
Yeah.
It wasn't that big a total.
Yeah.
Some of the batters fired. Unfortunately, Jyoti did not get as much runs. It was a couple of quick breakthroughs at the 28th
Yeah.
over, changed the course, but the tail sort of wagged and ensured a respectable or a defendable total.
Yeah.
But Hayden Matthews not coming in the top order, or not opening the batting, coming in at 4 definitely did
Yeah.
extend. And but yeah, the fall of wickets came a little too late when Marufa got the couple of breakthroughs. But other than that, I think that was one move that played a crucial or a pivotal role in winning the match for the West Indies yesterday.
Yeah, definitely. I think when you talk about tactics and preparing for a certain opposition, I think West Indies was spot on with it. They knew that how the spin attack will be from Bangladesh. They got three leg spinners, they got off spinners that have been informed. They've got Naida Akhtar with the left arms. So obviously, what they decided was, okay, we need to extend. We cannot expose a lot of batters against the spin in the middle overs. That's if that had not been the case, if Haley Matthew were to open and she got out early, I think it was probably, I don't want to say, but maybe West Indies would have struggled to even post 100 because of the quality of the spin they have. So what they did was just put two seniors together, Stefani Taylor and Haley Matthew, in the middle overs where Bangladesh was expected to bowl most of the spin. So that actually worked really well. But again, when you look at how it worked, they were not really threatened by the total. They never had to take any chances against the spin. And when that's the case, obviously you're not getting any wicket. They were happy to nudge around every now and then. They picked up a boundary because the asking run rate wasn't up there to really take on the spinners. So yes, I had a word with Jyoti after the match as well, and she was agreeing with me that they were short on runs. A brilliant spell by Ali Aleen, just came in and they nipped back few deliveries. That one to Jyoti, she was surprised, and I was having a laugh with her. But yeah, I think they were short on runs, and on the surfaces like this, it seems like a green top. It can be very decisive, but it's probably a batting paradise. So anything short of 250, you can blame yourself on this surface.
Mhm. Yeah, anything short of 250. And Bangladesh just managed to get 227, 67 by Sharmin Akhtar Shukta. Just reiterating the scorecard for all of you guys. For Zanak Pinky getting a start, 42. She
Yeah.
provides that stability right at the top, even though she takes a few balls. I think that's part of the ploy the team has to get stability right at the top. Unfortunately, as I said, Ali Aulin got rid of the captain Nigar Sultana Jyoti, who's in the second position now, even after with not a great outing yesterday in the
Yeah.
top scorers as far as that's concerned. Nahid Akhtar getting some runs later, along with Rabia Khan, ensured that Bangladesh get 227. As you had a conversation with Jyoti yesterday,
Yeah.
did she mention, or did you guys have a discussion on how much short did they feel they were? Were they short by 25 runs, as you said, 250, or they believe they could have got a bit more than that?
Well, she did mention that the scores that she could have scored was the missing part, and that was obviously minimum of 25 to 30. Anything above was bonus. But the way she has evolved into this batter, and I love her approach, I love the intent, I love the hard work she puts around, not just in herself individually, but also the people around her. Had she been there, and I'm sure that how the surface was, and probably not much threat being offered from the West Indies spinners, easily she would have scored another 50. So that would have definitely, propelled Bangladesh to a much bigger total, and obviously pushing West Indies to bat out of their shell. So yeah, the minimum she mentioned to me was 25, 30 runs. That was expected of her. That was missing.
Yeah, yeah, that was missing. But other than that, you watched the performances firsthand, as we all know. And Sharmin Akhtar Shukta right at the top of most runs with most runs, 242. Jyoti just 2 runs behind her, and Farzana Pinky being in the top 10 as well. How much do you think these three batters scoring runs at the top mattered for Bangladesh?
Immensely. I mean, whenever you look at Bangladesh, the top two, probably top three, whenever they scored, they have provided a foundation from where then Nigar and probably, I think, Ritu Moni is also one aspect. She can be handy with the bat. Got few Naida Akhtar, Rabia Khan was terrific yesterday, but they actually have the platform once the foundation is provided to accelerate. And I think when you look at Bangladesh, that has been their template that, okay, top two, top three will try to dig deep and then score runs at a decent rate. And then by probably halfway of the innings, you can afford to accelerate. And that has been their key to success to post big totals and give the bowlers to obviously bowl at something. But what actually I admire the most now, again, I mentioned that the amount of skill work they've done to back their intent has been tremendous. The use of crease against spinners has been remarkable. They're dealing with the pace attack up front. The technique has been spot on. Not just that, the strike rotation, the running between the wickets. So when you combine all this together, obviously you're up for success. And I think that there must have been some talk in terms of understanding the roles individually and then chipping in and compounding runs as a team whole together.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, and that shows in the performance. Like Fahima is there, Janatul Ferdosh Shumona comes in. I think she too, along with Shamin Akhtar Shukta, these additions have played a big role in giving options. Beside Nahida, you're heavily reliant on Nahida with the ball, which she delivered. Later on in the tournament with wickets. Numbers don't always justify. You know it better than
Yeah.
me. You can't always look at the stat and say that the performance was good or bad. But Nahida
Yeah.
or Maruf, when Rabia and Fahima or Sharmina, or Janatul Firdaus Shumona, they come in with the ball in hand. The ground fielding has been better, but yeah, some chances have been put down. But you've already mentioned how that spirit shows in the squad. I'll come back to this, but before we do, your take on the fact that it boils down to the last match day of the qualifier, where
Yeah.
all the teams or all the matches played will be important or somehow connected.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you've got a couple of great games. Obviously, Pakistan facing Bangladesh. it's Ireland, Scotland today. So I think that match is also a rivalry. So when you look at the ending games, I think it's more interesting than rather the start of the tournament. But yeah, looking forward to Bangladesh and Pakistan. Pakistan will definitely be tested, not just in bowling, but also in batting. I think, again, we talked a lot about the spin attack, but in particular, what I love about Bangladesh, spin attack was always there since I played. I know I faced Salma Khatun, I've placed against Kubra, so I know that the spin was always a threat. But now, not just that, fielding and also the batting. I think the Pakistani bowling will be tested as well. So they have to bring their A game. It's not going to be easy. And I think the injured Bangladeshi, the wounded, I would say, will be looking for a win definitely against Pakistan.
Yeah. Wounded tigresses will
Yeah.
definitely have their eyes and claws out, all for that win. Just coming back to Pakistan, um, how impressed are you with the performance of Pakistan? Consecutive wins. How does the side look? Not only for the last match, but your expectations or hopes, or which are the factors you feel that much work is needed on?
Well, I'm pretty happy how they have managed to obviously win all their games and they've qualified, but bowling has been the strength. There's no doubt about it. Batting is still a big concern for me going forward because I've seen the quality of the teams. When you talk about Ireland, you talk about Thailand, you talk about Scotland. I mean, whenever they step out and even in a longer format, when they bat, they keep on rotating strike. They keep that strike rate under check. And that's the need of the modern game. That's a little bit concerning when I look at Pakistan. Yes, we are still in search of some good batters. Shawal coming back from injury after a year. She's a really good prospect, but hasn't played any international cricket or even she played few domestic tournaments. But again, the quality is under question. International cricket, it's a whole different story. Sidra, I mean, yes, she's scoring runs, but I would expect her to be better in terms of strike rate. On any given day against a good opposition, at the rate which she's scoring runs, can turn around and bite Pakistan. So that is a given. So that's one area I would like her to improve herself. Muniba Ali, I like the approach she has. She's always looking to score runs. Umayma has been in and out. She's experienced, but yet to deliver with bat. Huge question mark on Natalia Parvez. She's given few chances, hasn't clicked. Alia has now totally adopted the role of a batter. So she still needs to find a balance between that hitting all rounder and a genuine batter. So these are all concerns in terms of batting, but when you look at that, bowling has been tremendous. Bowlers have been taking responsibility and they have been saving the day, if I have to say, for Pakistan. Fatma Sana, brilliant with the bat, brilliant with the ball. That's the sort of intent you want in batting as well going forward. Up front, Sadia Iqbal has been tremendous. Nashra supporting her. Diana, after injury, coming back. That was a huge positive point for Pakistan. It was about time that she performed, and she did. So, in terms of bowling, I'm pretty happy. Fielding and batting, they need to improve going into the World Cup for sure.
Fielding and batting. And if I got it correctly from your words, Marina, is that it's about the roles being established and being accepted and digested properly. You know what your role is and play according to that. And I'm sure when you qualify like this with 4 consecutive wins, you have a few months to work on that. I'm sure the coaches, the captain, and the team staff, the management, I think they will be focusing on that. You take your time. You
Yeah.
mentioned how you're impressed by Sidra, but at the same time you would put an eye on the scoring rate as well.
Yeah.
But and about Alia Riaz as well, they're
Yeah.
taking inheriting the role of a
Yeah.
proper batter. I think that
Yeah.
you have a few months to work on that, and I'm sure the focus will be on these things.
Yeah, definitely. I had a conversation with the coach Mohammad Wasim as well, and he said that our first and most important priority is to qualify. That's our ultimate goal. And when we are done and dusted with it, obviously we do understand the areas of concern. We do understand where our weaknesses lie. And after that, we will work on that because going into World Cup, you're not just going to participate. You want to make an impact. You want to win games. And that will only come if you can plug in those weaknesses you have as a team altogether. And 50 over format, it's not easy. It's a team game. You can rely on few players in a shorter format, but when you look at 50 over, the ebbs and flows, everyone has to take responsibility. So he said that he's aware of the things, he's aware of the facts that everyone is pointing out, and they do understand the requirement of international cricket now. So obviously they've got plenty of time. It's also, again, I say that they need to work on their skill set as well, as a batter I'm talking about, to counter spinners, genuine and quality spinners, and also different conditions and strike rotation. So these all things come together, and as you said, they've got plenty of time to work on it, and I'm hopeful that they will. Otherwise, it's going to be tough for Pakistan.
in the World Cup. But as
Yeah,
we
the World Cup.
mentioned earlier, and you said it, clear words that the teams in terms of performances, their level, it's quite close to each other. The differences have narrowed down. How
Yeah.
impressed were you with Scotland?
I was really impressed. I mean, the game one was the upset of the tournament, beating West Indies. No one would have expected. But again, I keep on mentioning that um, I don't know what the reason is. Probably I refer it to the more knowledge you have, the more confusion you can get in your mind. But when you look at Scotland or Thailand, they keep on doing basic things repeatedly. So if they're bowling at one length or line that's working, they will be so accurate on it that the other batter has to come up with a plan to break that line of attack. So when you look at Scotland, I was really impressed by the Bryce sisters, Catherine Bryce in particular, the way she comes on to bat, she takes on responsibility, she takes on fast bowlers, pace doesn't matter her, spin doesn't matter her. She knows how to use the crease and unsubtle spinners. So she was brilliant. Again, looking at the strike rate, I was really impressed. The bowlers doing their job, just being consistent in one area, creating pressure. They fielded well, yes. You can obviously question their fielding against Pakistan. They dropped 6 catches, but again, the conditions and it's hot and they don't have much experience in terms of playing ODI cricket. So just holding their nerves under crucial moments, that only comes with experience when you've gone through that scenario over and over again. So yes, they require a lot of experience in that term. But overall, when you look at Scotland, their spinners have been superb. I'm really impressed by Catherine Fraser as well. A very smart operator with the ball, not a huge turner of the ball, but she's accurate. She can vary the pace. uh, Hannah Rainey, again, a really good pace bowler. That's something that they can work with. I was impressed by Chloe Abel. Megan McCall, I mean, the whole team, the way they took responsibility and they had their belief in themselves, they were pretty close in beating Pakistan as well. So I think I generalized the rankings in 3 tiers, in terms of 3 tiers. Obviously, it's the top ones. You've got Australia, England, India, and New Zealand sneaks in. And then the middle tier, the second one is Bangladesh, West Indies, Pakistan, South Africa, and then the rest comes. So it's alarming that the gap between the second and the third tier is closing up. When you look at Ireland as well, it's been so unfortunate with them. They were at the verge of winning their first 3 games, Pakistan, West Indies, Bangladesh, and it was just a matter of that how they could not finish. That is something they need to learn, but it's alarming for all of us to see how that gap is closing up. So we as the middle tier, we need a lot of work to do.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny how you mentioned that it's alarming with tier two and
Yeah.
tier three closing down. But yeah, the tier three is improving significantly. I think it augurs well, but at the same time, I think tier two, you better buckle up because there are more teams chasing you.
Yeah, definitely. And they have that hunger. They're not just here to participate, they have the hunger. Even Thailand, you won't look at them like as a threatening force, but when you look at the results, I mean, the margin of losses, it's too close. And you would, being a top ranked team, you would like to beat them convincingly, but that has not been the case. Again, their fielding has been superb. Bowling, yes, bit of experience, but again, they're accurate. Putawong has been superb with her left arm spin. Batting, Chantham and Sutarang, they all have been stepping up, and they know how to take the game deeper. Again, it's just a matter of the inexperience in terms of playing more 50 over formats. They haven't played a lot. Even Scotland hasn't played a lot. And by a year or so, I think they'll be knocking on the doors and saying, okay, where you're standing, let us challenge you. And they've been challenging in this tournament.
Yeah, yeah. In general, their batting is more reliable when it comes to
Yeah.
that, and they're taking the game deep, as you mentioned, when it comes to batting, and just play to your strengths and try to go out there and enjoy rather than taking too much pressure. That showed, I think, with the Thailand game. But I think we'll come back to present again. And having said that, yeah, you mentioned how Ireland plays Scotland today, which is an important match because, see, we know the points table. Scotland and West Indies both are on 4 points. So
Yeah.
Scotland win the match today versus Ireland by a big margin. Uh, they'll equal in terms of points with Bangladesh, but at the same
Yeah.
time, they also need Bangladesh to win to lose to Pakistan by a big margin, as far as
Yeah.
we've read and heard. But you're there in person. You might have stats guys with you. Do you have any such calculations without us
Yeah,
having?
that's it. That's exactly the calculation that were presented to us as well. So, well, yeah, Pakistan has to win with a huge margin against Bangladesh and Scotland beating Ireland. So, I don't honestly, I don't see that happening. Bangladesh overall is a force to reckon with. Pakistan will have to really work hard in all three departments to beat them convincingly. But Scotland, Ireland, it's always going to be interesting because, yeah, I had a word with Gabby Lewis as well, and she said that the bowling, especially in the middle overs, going towards the back end of the innings, that's where they've been struggling. Catches, fielding in particular, that's where they're struggling. So I know if Isabel would listen to this podcast, I know she might be really angry with me, but what I've seen from Scotland is they slightly have a higher edge over Ireland. Gabby Lewis, Amy Hunter, they need to strike Lewis Little as well. But when you look at the team altogether, I think Scotland is a little bit more, I would say, composed. They've got each and everything, each and every area covered. Then Ireland, they do struggle a little bit and highly depend on Gabby Lewis to score. So let's see what happens. You never know.
Yeah, that they do, but I'm gonna make sure that I send this over to guys, and I'll time. I think this one's meant for you, Izzy. Yeah, this one's meant for you. Marina has a message. Yeah, should I do
Well,
that?
we've been talking throughout the tournament, and obviously we have a lot of talk regarding Ireland as well and Pakistan. She gives brilliant insights regarding Pakistan, and I give my feedback regarding Ireland. So it's just a beautiful camaraderie between me and her. So I hope that this clip wouldn't matter.
Yeah, yeah, I'm just pulling your leg. I'm just pulling your leg. But at the same time, so there's a double header tomorrow, right? While Bangladesh play Pakistan, West Indies play Thailand, and they're also on 4 points. And with all due respect to Thailand, the kind of force West Indies under Haley Matthews is, they do have a chance of winning the match, by a big margin. They do have that, skill set. Again, with all due respect to Thailand women, but their net run rate at the moment is minus 0.283, while Bangladesh's lands on 1.033. So
Yeah.
that's a big margin to cover.
Yeah, definitely a big margin to cover, but I think it's probably for Thailand, it'll be all about playing good cricket, and that has been their go-to goal for this tournament. Yes, they would love wins along their journey, but I think their utmost goal was to just go and challenge the opposition and not any team take them lightly, and they've done it. Again, when we look at teams like Thailand or Malaysia, for that matter, they're obviously not in this tournament. But for me, because I've played against them as well, the only thing is the consistency and accuracy that I mentioned, and also because we are so used to play pace, whether they're spinners or they're fast bowlers, that slow nagging pace is always so difficult to counter. And I've seen many great batters struggle against them because you have to create your own length, you have to create some room, you have to create your power. And they don't really give a lot in terms of manipulating the field and scoring runs easily. So again, Thailand has that advantage that they can probably play that mental game with you that can really frustrate you as a batter, because under this heat you would just love to stand at the crease and time the ball to the boundaries, and that's all. You don't want to be running. So that's an aspect there where they can really exploit West Indies. I'm not saying that they might beat them, but just a little bit of few moments of frustration can be created, and they all know that how important Haley Matthews wicket is, so I'm sure that they'll be eyeing for that. So just few
Yeah.
things that can be challenging playing against Thailand for West
Yeah,
Indies.
but how much do you think West Indies has the possibility of catching up in terms of net run rate by playing against Thailand tomorrow? That's with Bangladesh. Is that a possibility at all?
Well, there's always a shot at it, but again, what I would want and what I've seen even yesterday, yes, by the end it was Henry who took upon herself to accelerate, but main importantly they wanted to win. Thailand again, as an opposition, can be tricky, that you would like to attack them, but at times you just totally might lose your plot. So
Mhm.
it'll be just a matter of defining roles, that okay, who can take them. In terms of Henry, yeah, she's probably more ideal than, I would say, Haley Matthews. She's more technical. She understands that how important her role is. She'll probably will have to bat throughout the innings. So what they can do is probably define roles to few batters. Kiana Joseph, I think she can be really handy against Thailand, because not much footwork, but what she does is wait for a fuller delivery and then she can hit through line. So she can have that role to accelerate. Zaida James prefers to play off back foot. I don't think that she might be looking to attack. Henry can have that role. Shemaine Campbell love to come down the track. So not necessarily it should come down to Stephanie Taylor or Haley Matthew to take in regard that we need to improve the net run rate. They can anchor along, and they can let others who might have better chance at attacking slow bowlers just give them the role and tell them, okay, go, because they've been backed up with their bowling. They have enough venom in their bowling that they will easily win against Thailand. So I think that's a better way to go about the net run rate equation.
Yeah, yeah. Now, with that, we finally come to the crunch question, where there should be a drum roll, for the show-stopping question.
Yeah.
Who's your pick? Neutrally, as a commentator now, who's your pick for Bangladesh versus Pakistan tomorrow? Who's winning it, according to Marina Iqbal?
You're putting me in a spot.
I am.
Well, being neutral, what I've seen from both teams, definitely Bangladesh. They are tremendous in terms of their bowling. They have, and what set them apart in terms of the spin attack, most of the teams will have one or two maximum spinners. Like Pakistan, you'll have to deal with Sadia and Nashra. But with Bangladesh, they can plug both hands at the time with leg spinners, with Naida coming in, with Janupur Firdaus has been tremendous. So those middle overs becomes a nightmare for the opposition to score runs freely. So taking that in regard, obviously it's going to be a threat for Pakistan, and the way their batting has been clicking, especially Nigar Jyoti. Again, I might be biased, but I just love how she takes on the responsibility and has led Bangladesh by the past couple of years. And the I would like to say spirit, but also the, you can say, I'm not sure what term I'm looking to, the responsibility or just the boost that she is injected in Bangladesh as a team altogether. I love that. So Pakistan has their work cut out, not just in batting, but also in bowling.
Yeah, I think I'll put it as appetite. That the appetite they have, the way they've
Yeah,
taken the challenge, and
yeah,
raising the bar for themselves. I think that's very important, right? You having played the game yourself, or
yeah,
whichever profession you're in, if you
yeah,
set the bar for yourself, that you believe that you belong to a certain standard, and you want to
yeah.
perform to this level almost all the
Mm,
time. Of course, we're all humans, and it doesn't happen every day, and they are humans too. Often, we
Yeah.
tend to forget that, be it celebrity stars or players on the field
Yeah.
or on the screen, we expect godly uh,
Exactly.
I would
Yeah.
that they will deliver every
Yeah.
time like superheroes, but it's not possible. They are humans like us at the end of the day, but
Yeah.
they have that ability that with their performances, they not only win hearts, but they inspire. And I think Nigar Sultana Jyoti and the players under her have that power, have that capability, and they know that themselves.
Yeah.
Just one bit from a commentator to you now as a player. We're almost at the end. Before I leave you, I just have to pick your brain as a player that 3 wins, that gives you a boost in confidence, but at the same time, right after that, a loss.
Mm.
Does that only give you a reality check, or does that bring the confidence down? How does it impact mentally? You've seen the Bangladesh team, you know how the mentality might be. What's going on in that dressing room, you believe?
I don't think that it would have affected the confidence at all, because for a team, for an individual, it's important to know the reason behind the loss. Only then you can look forward and work on that weaknesses. And with Jyoti and others in the dugout, they knew that they were short on runs. They knew that they had to come up with a better plan, and someone had to stand out. But courtesy to a brilliant spell, you can't do much. Again, the standout for Ali Aleen was the consistency, hitting the right areas again and again. So once you know the reason, I think you look forward to improve it. And that's generally what the attitude of Bangladeshi players is, that they want to improve. And so I don't think that that would have dented Bangladesh in any way. Yes, what they would have done is just to be more clinical in terms of how they approach every phase of the game, because they've done it in the previous. Whenever they've done that, they've won the game. So yeah, again, just a reminder for them that not to take any phase, because they were dominating the initial stage after 23rd over. That's where I won't say that they became complacent, but just a brilliant spell that's all you can put out. But again, when you know the reason individually, when you know the reason of failure as a team, you tend to work on it rather than just sit and sob and say that, oh, why we lost. So that why, if that has been addressed, you know the reason, you look forward to improve on it. So I don't think that that should worry Bangladesh in any sort.
Yeah, and does that put any pressure, because it again, it boils down to the last match, and the pressure of that, you to ensure you must win, otherwise you're reliant on other teams, that kind of stuff, or ensure that you don't lose by a big margin.
Well, for me, that has been the mantra. If you're thinking about so many things, you lose your focus. And if you're only focusing on winning the game, you don't think what's happening around you. So you have to be 100% committed and focused on winning the game rather than thinking about that what others might do or what the scenarios can be. Bangladesh on any given day can beat any team. They've got everything right in their team. They've got the resources. They've got the skill. They have the performances. So I don't think that that would be a scenario where Nigar or the management of the team would be thinking, okay, if this might happen, what would happen? I don't think they're up and running, and obviously it's against Pakistan, so that gives a little bit of boost as well. So they'll be up and running, and they just want to play the game. They want to. It's a good thing in a way that they lost to West Indies. Just a bit of a reminder not to be complacent. Obviously, it's a bit harsh, but I think for Bangladesh, it worked in their favor. Pakistan hasn't faced a defeat yet, so they might be flying around that cloud nine thing. But for Bangladesh, to step back can obviously help them propel into a bigger performance tomorrow.
So if I summarize correctly, what Marina Iqbal says is that sort of a reality check, the previous loss for Bangladesh, but nothing to lose out the heart to. It's just
Yeah.
keeping your feet on the ground, but at the same time, remember your basics, your own standards, and go out there, perform, play your own game, and don't bother about anything else. Forget the
Yeah.
pressure. Even forget some of the lights said here. Go out there on the field and deliver your best. Thank you so much, Marina Iqbal. And I'll remember that you said being neutral, putting Bangladesh ahead, you know, big smile on my
Just
face, and I'm sure the audience would love it too.
well, they definitely have earned it. They definitely have earned it. Bangladesh.
Yeah, yeah. And at the moment, as we are not commentating, I think I can be myself. I hope too that alongside Pakistan, Bangladesh ensure qualification in the World Cup, and I look forward to seeing both the teams in the upcoming
Yes,
Women's World Cup later this year in India. Before we leave you, thank you so much for your time, Marina, and
my
loving
pleasure.
your things, and wish you all the best. And before we leave,
Thank you.
if you have any message for your fans or fans of women's cricket, feel free to say it out loud.
Well, the only request, the usual request that keep backing women's cricket. We need that. We need the support. Globally, the support is needed, and thank you to you as well for doing a podcast on the qualifiers as well. Because believe me when I say that I've played cricket throughout the year in different conditions, but right now it's really tough for us the commentators to commentate, let alone the players, the officials out there in the heat, bringing their A game, because each and every single game went down to the wire. So you have to give credit to the girls who have been playing out in such extreme conditions, and that tells you the passion they have. That tells you how much they want to improve. So what they need is just support. Keep on mentioning the top performers, the beautiful incidents that happen to boost women cricket, and that's all we expect from the fans around. And again, you and me being in that position that we can be the voice getting to the fans from the players, we also have the responsibility to do so. Just keep supporting women cricket and the players. That's all I request.
Fantastic. Completely with Marina Iqbal on that. You know, the women's cricket also deserves attention. Your support, they offer
Yeah.
entertainment as well. You will enjoy their game as well. They put in a lot of hard work as well. It's all fun and games when we watch it on TV, but they're the ones, you know, sweating it out on the field, and they have the potential. And my heart goes out to all the teams who are participating in this qualifier, because you all have contributed and played your part in making sure that this goes on till the last match day of this qualifier, and that in itself I think is a success story. I believe, right?
Yeah,
Thank you so
definitely.
much. Yeah, thank you so much, Marina, for your time, and
My
look forward
pleasure.
to seeing you tomorrow. And as a
Thank you.
Bangladesh fans will be hoping that.
I'll keep
Yes,
you under check on that with your tweets and your messages.
sure, sure thing, sure thing. Thank you so much, and that ends this episode on the mic. We had none other than Marina Iqbal on the mic with SG. Thank you for tuning.